Hi there, welcome. Today I am sharing a restorative yoga practice for deep winter rest. And this is a practice, the first practice in the library of restorative practices and so much more that I have in my online immersion, the Winter Solstice Restoration. So I hope you enjoy this first practice, and you can learn all about this online program at the end of this video. Enjoy. Hello, namaste, welcome, and thank you. Thank you for joining this course, the Winter Solstice Restoration. You can think of this course really as my winter solstice self-care immersion. And by joining this course, you now have lifetime access to my growing library of restorative yoga, all of my favorite restorative yoga practices of all time, everything that I've compiled to support you through the whole winter season and especially the holidays. Some of my favorite rituals and Ayurvedic recipes, and also just other recipes that I love at this time of year. Any wisdom or tips that I have for staying peaceful and calm through the holiday season and for the rest of winter, of course, and beyond. And why did I create this resource? Well, over time, I've learned that if I don't honor my body, if I don't honor my body's natural need for quiet and rest and reflection in December, that by the month's end, I usually am sick. My body tends to shut down with stress and fatigue and illness just from over-exerting, overdoing, overindulging, over everything. So as we approach the winter solstice on December 21st, and our days get darker and darker and darker, I do really feel this natural impulse to want to cozy up and turn inward and reflect on the past year. And this is a natural and important part of our seasonal cycle and our cyclical nature as human beings. And it's really to honor this time in the natural world, it's the time of hibernation. It's the time of slowing down and going dormant. So it's really interesting that our culture, the culture that we live in right now, has turned this natural time of sacred darkness and introspection into this sort of whirlwind of festivities and planning and preparations and consumerism and busyness and just doing more and more and more, when really I believe that we're meant to be doing less. If we look to nature, we can honor that, yeah, maybe we should be doing less at this time of year. So each year, dozens and dozens of people reach out to me saying how overwhelmed and stressed out and spread thin they feel during this time of year, and ask me for resources and ways to staying grounded and sane through the holidays, and ways to sort of soothe their frazzled nerves through this time. So in this online immersion, this self-care immersion, I will be providing all of those resources that you can explore and integrate into your days over the whole winter. So this is meant to support you each year through the whole winter with practices of movement and then guidance into rest and stillness, restorative yoga, of course, and Nidra, and some of my favorite nourishing and detoxifying recipes, herbal teas, things like that. And recipes to support your liver as well, because our liver usually takes a little bit of a beating with the overindulgence that can happen during the holidays. And this collection of resources will be here to support you when you need it. So you can come back to this course, to this immersion, and to each of whatever your favorite practices are, time and time again, anytime that you're needing a little bit of downtime, some time to recuperate and restore throughout the winter. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me in this revolution of self-care and slowing down. and we'll begin with our first restorative yoga practice. So I'll show you what you need for that. Okay, so welcome to this first practice for deep winter rest. And all you'll need for this practice is some comfy clothes. I'm in my pajamas and a comfy sweater. I also have 2 blocks and a bolster. If you don't have these items at home, I'm going to link to a video below with Tina, my co-director of the School of Living Yoga, where she guides how to practice restorative yoga with items that you already have in your own home. So she'll teach you how to make this configuration with some couch cushions and things like that. Also, I have a strap, which you could use a scarf if you don't have a yoga strap. I have an eye pillow, which again, you could use something like a scarf or anything that will block out the light from your eyes. I have 2 folded blankets here. I'm planning on using one as a pillow for behind my head. So you might grab a pillow and 2 blankets, or a blanket and a pillow. Whatever you have is great. So we can work with what you have. There's no need to go and buy new items if you don't already have these items. Okay, so we're going to start with our straps and eye pillows within reach. With our legs are going to be facing the bolster. And then I'm going to put one of my blankets here for behind my head and one within reach. And then coming down to lay in a supine position. And then adjusting this pillow for support behind your head, bending the knees to a comfortable position. And then letting your feet be nice and wide apart here, about mat distance away from each other. And we'll reach the arms up to the sky and just start by rolling out the wrists. You can close down the eyes here and begin to take some deep breaths. In for 4, out for 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Reversing the direction of the wrist circles, continuing with that breath. Good, and then bending the elbows to grip on to either elbow gently. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Exhale to let your elbows fall over to one side. 2, 3, 4. Inhaling to center. Following that 4-count breath, exhaling over to the other side. A little massage for the back of the body. Option to bring in the legs as your arms fall to one side. You might let your knees draw over to the other direction. Inhaling, knees and arms to center. Exhaling over to the other side. Just nice and slow. Do a few more times like that, just feeling your breath, feeling the gentle movements in your body, and feeling the support of the ground beneath you. You might start to relax through the jaw, the tissues of the face. Good, and the next time that the knees and the arms draw to the center, pausing here, inhaling to draw your elbows up above the head just as far as feels good. So a gentle stretch for the arms. And then exhaling to bring the arms back down towards the navel center. We'll do that a couple of times. Inhaling. Deep breaths as you follow your own breathing rhythm. So don't worry about my breathing rhythm. Follow your own unique lung capacity. And you're just sort of slowing down that breath to a rhythm that's comfortable for you. I'll do that one more time. And the next time that the arms draw down towards the navel, bringing the right knee into the chest and interlacing fingers on top of the shin or the knee, inhaling to flex the right foot, and then exhaling to point the toes. Inhaling to flex the foot, exhaling, pointing the toes. Do that a couple more times. The next time that you flex the foot, pausing here, and begin to rotate the ankle round and round, taking deep breaths through the nose, closing down the eyes. You might imagine you could breathe into the ankle joint, like you could send your breath down into the right ankle. Reversing the direction, completely relaxed in the jaw. And then relaxing the foot and begin to circle the knee slowly, round and round. Inhaling, exhaling. And then reversing direction of those circles. Continuing to take those deep diaphragmatic breaths. If you're familiar with Dirga Pranayama, the 3-part breath, inviting that in. And then hugging the knee in towards the chest, taking hands behind the thigh as you extend the leg up to the sky, flexing the foot and pressing the heel skyward. And we'll take 3 deep breaths here. Find a comfortable stretch in the back of the leg. Inhaling. Exhale through the mouth. And again. One more time. Good, and then slowly bending the knee, releasing the right foot back down to the earth. And just take a moment here, hands on the belly, and notice any difference between your right leg and your left leg, just as the sensations flow through the legs. Good, and then continue to let your head, your body be heavy here on the earth as you bring the left knee into the chest, interlacing fingers on top of the knee or the shin, and inhale to flex your left foot. Exhale to point the toes. Continuing, inhale. And exhale. And then the next time that you flex the foot, begin to rotate the ankle round and round. Again, imagining you could take deep breaths into your ankle joint. Eyes closed. Imagine sending the breath down into the ankle. Reversing direction. Relaxing the foot, and then slowly circling the knee. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling deeply. As you inhale deeply, you might start to invite the exhale to be even longer than the inhale. Slowly, slowly exhaling. Reversing direction. And just another deep breath or two. Exhale, effortless, longer than the inhale. And then bringing the hands behind the knee, extending leg up to the sky, flexing the foot, finding a comfortable stretch here, closing down the eyes. Imagine you could breathe all the way down into the left toes. 3 deep breaths. Releasing the leg, bending the knee, planting the foot down. And now we'll come to use our strap. So if you're using a scarf or some other type of tie, don't worry about looping your strap. But if you're using a yoga strap, looping the strap through both in one direction and then coming back through in between the 2 loops in the other direction. And then we want a comfortable distance apart for the legs, but the legs to feel snug and supported to extend up the bolster. This is one of my favorite restorative postures from our restorative teacher training, called legs up the bolster. So once you've got your legs nice and snug, you might either reach for your eye pillow or your blanket. If you're cold, it's important to stay warm during restorative yoga, especially during the winter time. So you can either place your folded blanket on your belly for a little bit of a grounding sensation. It's a little bit soothing for the nervous system because it massages the low belly against the bundle of neurons in the belly there. It's very soothing for the nervous system. Or you can drape this blanket over you for warmth. It's very important to stay warm. And then, option to bring a scarf or eye pillow over top of your eyes. closing down the eyes, and then bringing the fingertips towards the small of the neck and just gently tracing across the collarbones towards the shoulders. So the fingers draw away from each other out towards the shoulders, and then you can either let your arms fall out to the side in a T position, or if it would feel more comfortable to bring your arms down alongside the hips, then you might do that as well. So just choosing the most optimal position for the arms. And that might actually be to rest on your body, maybe left hand on heart, right hand on belly, or beneath your blanket if you've got a blanket on your belly. And then notice if there's any little adjustments you could take to get even more comfortable here. Is there anything you could do to get even more comfortable and at ease? It's always worth the extra effort to make those tiny little micro adjustments in the pelvis or the hips, the pillow behind the head. Tuning into what's needed. And then allowing yourself to settle in. Would you part the teeth and draw the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth? Let the eyes and all of the little intricate micro muscles behind the eyes begin to soften. All of the little tissues in the forehead and the scalp beginning to release. And allowing your breath to settle into a natural rhythm now. Welcoming the element of earth and the steadiness, the solidity and support beneath your body. And allow that support to cradle you. You can fully relax into that steady support. And welcoming the healing, soothing darkness. Allowing the eyes to relax from the world of looking, seeing, maybe even straining. Fully relaxing back into the sockets. And as your whole body and nervous system start to slow down, might you imagine just the energy of each of those little animals going into hibernation time. Burrowing in, cozy and warm, embracing the deep, deep state of rest and rejuvenation, regeneration. and how there's something truly magical that takes place in these deep states of rest that allows us a renewed sense of vitality and energy. So might you embrace the fact that there's nothing that you need to do here. That the less you do, the more this inherent vitality and innate healing can occur on a cellular level. Trusting that there are trillions of cells in your body that already know what to do. The intelligence of life working through you. And you can relax back into that intelligence. Relaxing back into the present moment awareness that's already here and available to you. And if it's helpful for the next few moments, you might invite a mantra on the inhale, so, on the exhale, hum, mentally whispering, so, hum, I am all that there is. And if the mind wanders to the to-do lists, analyzing, planning, just gently guiding back to the rhythm of the breath. Inhaling so, exhaling hum. And if it's needed, I welcome you to stay here, resting in this position for as long as you need to. You might stay here for several minutes, and that is absolutely wonderful if you have the time. And if you need to begin transitioning, might you start by wiggling the fingers and toes, nodding the head gently from side to side, bringing the hands to remove your eye pillow or scarf, but then keeping the eyes closed and bringing hands on top of the eyes, just allowing the eyes to very slowly, very naturally begin to adjust to the light, if there's light in the room around you. You might start to spread the fingers a little bit with each moment, keeping the eyes closed and letting the eyes slowly adjust to that light. Taking as much time as you need with that process. And then bending the knees to come over to one side. And if you're using a strap or a scarf, you might loosen that now. And you might even place your pillow beneath your head and your blanket between your knees. And just taking a deep breath or two, resting here on the side. Noticing how you feel. Let's take one more deep breath here on the side. And know that if it's taking you a little bit longer to transition with each phase, really you can take your time. Take as much time as you need, your own unique timing for each transition. Eventually coming up to a seated position, or you might rest on your side or in your legs up, the bolster position. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this was just a little glimpse into the power of deep rest and restorative practices. And I can't wait to share all of the rest of my favorite restorative practices with you to really help gain the cumulative effects of deep rest and what that can really do for not just the body and its ability to restore, but the nervous system and its ability to come into these states of calm and rest, and catching up on rest deficits and what that can do for all of the layers of ourselves, body, mind, spirit. And I'm just so excited to share those with you. So be sure to come back to this practice again, come back to all of the practices throughout this entire winter solstice immersion whenever you like. It doesn't just have to be in the winter season. It can be any time of year that you're feeling a little bit heightened or needing a little bit of downtime, rest and rejuvenation, which is really something that we can bring in each and every day for the most optimal benefits. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next practice. Namaste. I hope that you enjoyed this first practice from the Winter Solstice Restoration. is, like I said, is a growing library of restorative practices for deep, deep rest, and especially themes around the winter solstice time of year and just the deep winter time of year in general, and how to really practice self-care during those times, not just with yoga nidra, restorative yoga, but also through lifestyle suggestions, Ayurveda, my favorite recipes, and so much more. So if you'd like to join that, please find the link at the end of this video and below and in the comments as well. I'd absolutely love for you to join. It's this lifetime access to these practices, so you can come back to them again and again each year and really feel the cumulative benefits of these types of restorative practices and deep, deep rest. If you'd like to practice more restorative yoga with me here on the channel, know that at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of January 2022, which is coming up pretty soon, we will be hosting a 5-day restorative yoga immersion here on my channel as well as on Tina's channel. I hope that you can join us for that as well. Namaste, and I'll see you in the next video.